Welcome to Tool Rant Tuesday. You know what time it is. Once a week, I come out here, Jewel T. Leonard, and talk about the tools. Tool Rant Tuesday. This week, we're talking about AI. That's right, artificial intelligence. And you know what? I am surprised that this was not the first topic on my list, but that is probably because there were so many other tools that were top of mind that I hadn't even really looked at AI. And actually, I like AI. It helps me out a lot. And so I really didn't want to rant about it, but I got to rant. So first thing I want to do is, so I don't just rant about it. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you solutions and ways that you can actually leverage it to grow and run your business, right? Because that's what we really want to do with any tool. So the first thing I want to really hone in on is, what is AI? Okay, I lost my notes. I don't know where they are. What is AI? So let me help you to kind of frame what this is. Do you know any software engineers? Do you know any web developers? Anyone who is what you would term a technical developer or anything like that, okay? Back in the day, we would have software engineers. Well, we still have software engineers, but back in the day, way back in the day when I was in school, even in high school, we had languages, right? We have different languages that we talk to the machines with. We had back then, can you believe it? When I was in high school, we had punch cards. I'm dating myself. We had punch cards, Fortran and COBOL, right? And then we got fancy. We had things like C++, JavaScript, Java. There's all types of languages that a software engineer or a developer will use to communicate what needs to happen with the machine and pull the data out in the way you want it. Well, AI, at its most fundamental interpretation. AI is when we use language, English language, to communicate with the machine, to pull out the data that we want or to pull out the results that we're looking for. In essence, that is what we are doing. Now, the difference from back in the day and today with AI is that back in the day, the machine was kind of dumb, right? It's garbage in, garbage out, which that's still true to a point today. But what's different now is that with machine learning, the machine can process data much faster than we can. And it seems like it is reasoning, and in fact, it is reasoning. But what is reasoning? Reasoning is taking all the data that's available to you and making the associations between those elements of data to come up with some result or some answer or something that you're seeking to do with the technology. Okay. So we do this all the time, but as humans, we can't do it as quickly as the machine can do it, right? So in essence, what is AI? No jargon. AI is a way that lets you talk to the machine in your language. That's it, right? That's it. But here's the rant. The rant for me with AI is that there are so many things that you can do with AI. And once we opened up development, coding, language, or coding in a way that can be used, that we can use language to do it, that meant that non-coders, non-software engineers can come in and develop apps and things and tools using that method, that language, okay, at a breakneck speed. So as a entrepreneur who is out here running a business that has that is not focused on AI, although I do have AI, I mean AI is everywhere, but if you are an entrepreneur and you're just out here in the sea of tools trying to figure out, well, what can AI do for me? I know I can do a lot of stuff. I hear people talk about it all the time. It can be overwhelming. And there's a good reason for that, because it's a tool. This is my personal rant on all tools as a technologist, is that a tool is, if you remember this will help you so much. A tool is always, no matter what we techie people say, a tool is always, the purpose of it is to support a process and make it more efficient or easier or more profitable for you to do. It's to support a process. If you implement a tool in a place where a process doesn't exist, you might seem to get better, but you're probably going to have wasted time and money, because the way that you get benefit is if you have a defined process and you seek out a tool to help you with it, and it's efficient in doing so. Now you've moved up. Yeah. But if you don't have a process, because you maybe you didn't know you needed a process, or maybe you had a process, but things have changed in your business, it's more complicated. Okay, now that makes it a little bit more challenging to decide what tool is best for you. So my rant with AI is just so much of it, and it's everywhere. And let's be honest, it's a marketing it's a marketing thing, right? Because AI has been around forever. But it's just that now people have gotten wind of it. Businesses are starting every day. There's a new company that's spinning up all the time with different things we can do. I can give you coaching with this. I can do, there's so many different things, right? So that's the scoop on, that's the rant. Now, how can you leverage AI in a way that's going to help you to run your business, to be more profitable, to get more done? How are you going to do that when there's so much coming at you all the time? Never mind the fact that you actually have a product that you're working on as part of your business, that you really are, that your business is all about. So how do we take this thing and figure out how to use it in our business? This is my plan. Okay, this is what I'm doing as a technologist in this space who has access to AI in every aspect of my platform. This is why I created the Streamline and Scale framework. Not, just, it's not a plug. In this case, it was a baseline business framework. Scroll back, you'll see. And the reason I created that framework is because when I saw what was happening to leads in my business with marketing, I realized that some of the key functions I needed in place to actually take a lead and convert it to a customer and beyond, I didn't really have structures in place for that. And I believe that most businesses don't, or most businesses are not clear on what it should be, because it all comes back to your ICP, your ideal customer profile, right? But the way I recommend and the way I look at AI is I'm looking at my systems, and in particular, I only focus on sales. I only focus on sales, marketing, and customer experience systems. Okay. Those three systems, when you're able to tie them together efficiently, that's what's termed rev ops. And I'm learning as I talk to more people that that's not a common term. That's one of those corporate terms. But because we have more data available, we as entrepreneurs can leverage now the same metrics and the same tools and the same data-driven decision making that big business has been doing for years, forever. Okay. But for me, I look at, here's my process. Here's how I drive revenue through the business. I drive revenue in from marketing for leads to sales to customer experience. And I repeat, right? So I'm looking at these systems in my business. How do I do marketing? How do I do sales? How do I convert customers? And how do I onboard them? Those identifying areas. And so I'm looking at that and saying, now, how can AI help me make this better? How can AI help me to create better content? This is a huge one. Chat GPT, people have inquiries all over the place. You can find a coach, a consultant, or someone with a product that's going to help you to make better content. In fact, you can find someone probably to make content for you. But if that's the area you want to be, because here's another thing I found out. I found out that if your messaging is not right and you don't have the ideal customer, then you go out into social media and you don't have lined up messaging, then you're going to get a lot of leads that are not qualified, who are not interested in your product, and you're going to think it's your business, or you're going to think it's you, and it's not. Okay. It's that you have to define the product. So you can get support for content creation. That's a simple one. You can look at your business and say, well, I need help making content. Okay. I can go out into marketing land and find a tool to help me to create better content, right? That's a thing. Or you can say, well, you know what? I have all these processes in place, but when it comes to customer onboarding, my team has dropped the ball a few times. My customers haven't gotten the information that they needed to get from me on a timely basis. How can I help to solve that problem? Sometimes you could help solve the problem with AI, or sometimes you can help solve the problem with automation. That's why it's so important to always have this frame, this boundary that you set for yourself, that is an understanding of your process, of your systems, your business system, from sales, marketing, sales, and customer experience, so that when you're looking to increase the throughput of leads into customers, you're focusing on the right thing. So if we take the example and we say, okay, my customer onboarding is not great. Before you go out and sign up for that training AI, or before you sign up for the 10x your business AI, what you want to do is look at your business. I looked at my business and I was like, oh, wait a minute. You know what? My content is not that great. But before that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I really don't know who my clients are. And I went and got help with that. You see, I updated my brand and everything. I move fast. I don't play around. If I see something needs to be changed, boom, I'm doing it. I get it done. But the point is that when you're looking at your system and seeing what needs to be fixed and what's going to provide you the most uplift in terms of people you're converting, okay? That's the thing you need to focus on. And that's the thing you go out into the market to get AI to help with, if it's an AI solution. I think the better thing, at least from my perspective, is when you look at the foundation of things never change. The foundations never change. You're always going to have sales. You're always going to have marketing. You're always going to have a customer experience. Those things aren't going to change. It doesn't matter whether this month's tool is AI or automation or some combination thereof. You're always going to come back to the fundamentals. So my suggestion is to always have a decision-making framework that focuses you on the fundamental. So the fundamental is, I need help with this onboarding. Okay, is it because I'm not getting information to my clients in time, in which case I would add some automation? Or is it because my content, I'm doing customer onboarding, or is it because I haven't been able to answer their questions quickly enough, in which case an AI agent or some type of AI chatbot might be the answer instead of something that is an automation. You follow me? So the framework I recommend and that I'm using to discern what AI do I need is to look at my business, look at my revenue engine, which is those systems that drive revenue through the business, marketing, sales, and customer experience, and pinpoint which area in my systems, if I were to fix it or make it better, would improve my results. Okay. That's the way I would look at it. What I would not do, and what I do not do, is go out into the marketplace and look at all the shiny objects, because there's a ton of them. The marketing marketplace looks like a Christmas tree lit up for the holidays. Okay, right now, if we just talk about shiny object syndrome, there is so much stuff out there. It will keep you spinning. And the thing that you want to do is you want to optimize this process so you can let it run and then go back to building an ideal, amazing product that people want to buy. Right? Okay. So that's what I wanted to share about AI with the tool rant. It was one other thing I wanted to share that came to me while I was saying that. So this is one thing, I'm gonna wrap up with this, is that you can use AI today. Many entrepreneurs are using AI, particularly for content. I use it to help me to plow through a ton of stuff at once. People are doing things like, I was just semi on a call where a lady had taken her sales coaching and created a sales chat GPT tool, right? I also was working with another person who had created a newsletter chat GPT. So the thing you need to know about these things is that what you're investing in is a method for inquiring or asking questions of the machine. Yes, use the word machine, in a way that will get you the right answer. Because remember, because we are querying a bunch of data, we're basically asking questions. When you go out to chat GPT or anything else, you're asking questions so you can get answers back from it, right? So when you hire someone or when you find someone who has created a tool that allows you to do that, what they're basically doing is giving you the questions to ask based on your experience. Sometimes that's the best thing for you to start with, but sometimes it may not be. And so that's why it's so important for you to take ownership of your business. I know for me, of course I want to farm out everything. But what I found is that there is some level of responsibility for me as an entrepreneur to understand enough about my business that I know when something is a help and when something is not a help. And so you have to do that. You have to make that determination for you. And just because someone has a tool that has some pre-programmed queries in it does not mean it's the tool for you, because you could actually do the same thing. You could go out in the chat GPT and put in some information about it. And the other thing is, your data's going out there. I just want to remind you, okay, that you are basically, when you're using a tool like ChatGPT, you are basically bartering with OpenAI, for example. And what you're bartering with is your expertise and their data. You're training the model. Okay. You're training the model with your experience. So it's not free. ChatGPT is not free. You're training it when you use it. So for most things, it's a valuable exchange. But you know what? You got to keep in mind things like confidentiality. How safe is your data? If you got a brand new idea and it's a game changer, so to speak. I hate using that term, but it just fits sometimes. You might want to consider understanding more about what the security behind when you put stuff in that query, what are you going to get out? Some companies have their own instances, right? So that your data stays with you. So that's just something to consider as well. So anyway, that's it. That is my rant on AI. Is AI a pain? Yes. Why? It's because it's everywhere. What is it? It's just a way to use English to talk to the machine. Why might you use it? Because it can increase efficiency. It can help you save time creating content. It can help you save time, answering phones. You can have them do whatever you need to do. But the key for this message, for me, the solution, the way to fix it is make sure that you are always, whether it's AI or any other tool in the marketplace, that you are always going to the marketplace from a position of empowerment that comes from knowing your systems. Right. Knowing your systems. Okay. This has been Jewel T. Leonard, and I am so happy to be here to help you understand what is best in the grand scheme of how to get the results from technology for your business. I help founders, freelancers, coaches, and consultants to make more money with marketing. And this is the tagline of the week. I'm still working through that part. But anyway, if this has been helpful for you and you are looking for a way to make sense of what are your systems, because you have them, whether you're using them or not, whether you've documented or not, you have them. But if you need a little help, you want to have a conversation and talk about, okay, tell me about the sales, marketing, and the customer experience and how I build my revenue engine, then go ahead and I invite you to go ahead and schedule a skill ready. Wait, go ahead and schedule your Streamline and Scale strategy session. It's free. It's free. And I had a little, it's free. Go ahead and schedule your Streamline and Scale strategy session. It's just a casual call. There's some questions I asked you to fill out on a form before the session, but really it's where we can sit back, look at what you're doing, look at your systems, and whether you decide that there's something that I can help you with or not, you will at least have a framework to be able to look differently at your business, not as someone who is kind of at the whim of the marketplace, but someone who is empowered to go out into the marketplace and pull in the tools that are going to help you to get the success in your business that you deserve. Okay, this is Jewel T. Leonard. I'll catch you next time on Tool Rant Tuesday. Bye for now.